Good evening and welcome to our information session for Arlington Tech. My name is Margaret Chung and I'm the principal of Arlington Career Center and Arlington Tech. So our mission at Arlington Tech is to provide our students with a rigorous learning environment which inspires and develops self-directed paths to college success and in-demand careers through the integration of project-based learning, college-level coursework, STEM, and career and technical education. This evening, we will have a presentation from 7 o'clock to 7:45. Followed by a question and answer panel from 7:45 to 8:15. So you may wonder, what is Arlington Career Center and how does Arlington Tech fit at the Arlington Career Center? And I think it may be helpful to understand the Arlington Career Center kind of like a college campus. So it's a campus that holds all the countywide career and technical education programs, serving all the students from across the district, plus 4 full-time academic programs: Arlington Tech, Academic Academy, English Learner Institute, and the Program for Employment Preparedness. This evening's presentation will be all about Arlington Tech, and there'll be plenty of time at the end of the presentation to ask questions. At this time, I'm going to introduce Monica Lozano. She is our Equity and Excellence Coordinator, and she will explain her role at the Arlington Career Center and Arlington Tech.
Good evening, buenas noches. My name is Monica Lozano Caldera. I am the Equity and Excellence Coordinator at the Career Center. My office really supports students and in our Career Center create an environment in which the students feel safe, celebrated, respected, and they feel valued. We make sure that everyone in the building feel that they belong here and they can succeed in our building. My office will support especially African American, Black, Latino students, and anyone in the community that is required specifically and support to celebrate who they are, their identity. Welcome to the Career Center, and now I invite Catherine to continue the presentation about our community.
Catherine's muted.
Hello again. Thank you, Mr. Schwinn. My name is Catherine Steinmetz, and I'm the coordinator for the Arlington Tech program. And right now, we're going to talk really specifically about what Arlington Tech is. We're going to talk about what the instructional or learning environment at Arlington Tech looks like. We're going to look at one of our projects, hear from our 2 other administrators at the Career Center about what student life is and what the unique opportunities are at Arlington Tech. So what defines Arlington Tech are these 3 things that you see right on the slide. Our instructional environment, we focus on project-based learning. And that's how all of our learning happens at Arlington Tech. It's project-based, it's inquiry-based, it's very student-driven. And we'll share examples of what that is. We also, the Arlington Tech, we focus on tech skills, STEM skills, and that's all integrated through our career and technical education program. So the Career Center is our CTE center for the county, and we leverage that and have embedded those enormous opportunities into the program, bringing the STEM to Arlington Tech. And then also opportunities for early college and work-based learning. So our students take advantage of dual enrolled classes with Northern Virginia Community College. They have an opportunity to take quite a few college classes before they graduate. Some are on track to earn what's considered a certificate and or an associate's degree before they go ahead and graduate with their high school diploma. We also have work-based learning, which we'll talk about as well. So project-based learning is really the heart of who Arlington Tech is. When we think about Arlington Tech, when students share their experience of what Arlington Tech is, it comes back to the way we do school. And the way we do school is not unlike a traditional program, but the instructional environment it does feel different because the learning is embedded in a very active, inquiry-based, very student-driven classroom environment. And so here's some scenes of some projects that have happened throughout the years, and you can see that the students are the ones that are active in the classroom. The students look like they're asking questions of each other, they're managing projects, they're investigating, and they are doing the work of the learning. So to help you kind of get a sense, because many of us, well, all of us probably have spent time in very traditional learning environments. And so comparing that to what project-based learning would be, here are some examples. I'm going to highlight the one right at the bottom because this project just wrapped up. But in a math classroom, in our pre-calculus classroom, it would be very traditional for a student or teacher to lecture on and solve example problems on the board, and then have the student repeat that until they've mastered that skill, and then assess the students on that skill. That would be a very traditional way of learning math. We've all probably experienced that. In our project-based pre-calculus classroom, our teacher changed that around a little bit and created a project with the driving question of how can we use math to drive a rover on a distant planet. And so the students had to think deeply about this project, about this question, and they had to build something. And in building that and solving this problem, they had to learn the pre-calculus skills. So they were assigned a specific region of Mars to navigate the rover through. They had to plot a course to avoid craters and boulders. They had to use, pre-calculus functions in order to do that. And in that sense, they had to master the knowledge and apply it to a real life scenario. And it was exciting and engaging, and the students could see the application of what they're learning. So these three other examples, the bold is what's the driving question. We'll talk about what that is in the next slide. And then the task is defined, and you can see how that compares to what would be in a very traditional environment. So to spotlight a project, I'm going to go a little bit deeper on this project, and I want to show you what the life cycle of this project looked like, so you can really imagine what the students' experience in the classroom would be. So this is a candid COVID candy dispenser, excuse me. And the driving question for this project was, how can we build a safe and effective candy dispenser that meets COVID protocols and CDC guidelines for trick-or-treating? So you can imagine this was a project our students were working on in October leading up to Halloween. And it was a collaboration between our engineering and geometry courses. And the skills that the students were building towards this project were critical thinking, design thinking, creativity, and collaboration. This was a 9th grade project, so this is happening with 9th grade students. And so the task was that the students had to meet with a client to understand what their client's needs were, and they had to write a design brief and create some orthographic drawings, so learning that engineering skill of 3D drawings, and build a design matrix in order to select a final design. They calculated the surface area to source their materials in order to build the candy dispenser. They had to build it, they had to test it, go through the engineering design process, redesign, rebuild, meet with the client, make sure it's meeting the client's needs, and then eventually deliver their final project. And some students were very successful and had products that met their clients' needs. Some kids learned that what they were the work that they were doing, and they weren't able to produce their design. But through all of that, the learning standards were being embedded through this process. This graphic is hard to see, but we're going to give you the link to it from our website so you can look at it very closely. I'm just going to talk you through what this is, and then you can go ahead. We'll share that link from our website. But this is what project-based learning looks like in our classrooms. There's 4 phases to what project-based learning is. It starts with a launch, and in the launch, the students get excited about the project, start thinking deeply about the driving question. And that driving question is what drives further questions. And so the driving question for the candy dispenser is, how can I build this candy dispenser meeting these guidelines, the CDC and the guidelines for social distancing? What does a candy dispenser look like? They meet with their client, they understand the needs of their client. Also, the teacher will define what the learning objectives are. So in the case of this project, the learning objectives weren't just to be able to build a candy dispenser, because nowhere in Virginia State, curriculum does it say that that's what students need to do. But the students do need to understand how to calculate surface area. In an engineering class, they need to know how to draw 3-dimensional drawings, right? And so the teacher will talk about what the learning objectives are, and the students will engage in what's called a needs to know process. And this is where we add some opportunities for differentiation. So the student would create an inventory of what they know and what they need to know in order to be successful at the project. And that's what a professional would do. If your supervisor had come to you and said, hey, I need you to do this project, can you get it to me by the end of the week? One of the first things that anyone would do would be inventorying what resources they need, what they have to learn in order to do this. And that's what we ask our students to do in the classroom as well. From the launch process, we would shift into the learn. That's where most of the instruction is going to happen. But the instruction is now contextualized with a purpose. So we're not just teaching students surface area to learn surface area. The students are motivated because they know that they have to figure out how much cardboard to find in order to build their candy dispenser. And the only way for them to calculate how much cardboard they need is to understand surface area calculations. So the instruction looks like what would happen in a normal classroom. There's going to be small groups, there's going to be activities and labs, there's going to be direct instruction workshops, there's going to be lots of different instructional opportunities, but they're going to be embedded in the context of the project. From the learn phase, there's going to be a lot of assessment through that. And then from that learn phase, we're going to go into the create phase, where the students team up, build contracts and working agreements, and then get to work, if it is a group project, get to work producing their product, implementing the solution to their problem. And then we always end our projects, our units, with an opportunity for reflection, not just on how did the project go, what do I need to focus on in order to be successful the next time around. A lot of project management skills, collaboration skills, feedback for the teachers. Was there enough support? Was there not enough support? So we would always end a unit or a project with an opportunity to reflect. So breaking that down for this project, this COVID candy dispenser. In the launch phase, there was an entry event. There was the needs to know, which I talked about, is that inventory that the student would create. And then there was the initial client consult. The learn phase, they started with a brainstorm. The students created their decision matrix. They also learned about decision matrices, because that is an engineering standard. They learned a lot towards the technical drawing skills, not just drawing virtually, but also drawing by hand. Then once their drawings were completed, they met again with their client to consult with their client to make sure that they're on track. They built a prototype. They did another client consult, and then they did a final build and delivery, and then a presentation and a reflection at the end of that project. So here's an example. You can see that the design brief, there's an example of a design brief that a student created, and then 3 different prototypes that they drew using CAD software. And so that was the first time that these students, these are 9th grade students, this was beginning of October, this is the first time that these students were getting into Inventor and building 3D models. And so you know, this is a new skill for them. And then the design brief. And so you can see that he had a couple different prototypes. And if you flip to the next slide, this was the decision matrix. And so they had to specify what the criteria were and how the criteria were going to be evaluated. And then they were going to use that decision matrix to decide which prototype to go with. And then his final product was at the end. And it's not, we really do focus, our teachers and our students, that project-based learning is a process, and the process is what's most valuable to us. That learning process is where we want to spend more of our energy and our time, and we love seeing awesome products, and especially students feel really great when they have amazing products to share at the end, but it's the process that our teachers care about, because that's where the learning is happening, right? And so having an awesome product is exciting, but it's the process that we focus on. So we talk a lot about skills at Arlington Tech. We start the beginning of the school year talking about skills. Each project we talk explicitly about skills and design explicit instruction to support students in developing their skills, because project-based learning is often a new experience for students, and it's also, since we talk, it's student directed, there's a lot of autonomy that the students need to demonstrate in order to be successful. And so that means that there's a heavy focus on skills and building skills. And so, you know, to be successful at Arlington Tech, these are some of the skills that our students would need to be developing each year. So a 9th grader would look very different than a 10th, 11th, and 12th grader. And these skills are the skills that our employers, our colleges are prioritizing. So that's being self-directed and being a self-advocate, being collaborative. I mean, you can't get around project-based learning without being collaborative. Most of our projects are group projects. Now, this year it's a little bit different because of the virtual learning environment, but I would say now, given our virtual environment, we're spending a lot more time doing individual projects, but those individual projects always have collaborative opportunities. So peer-to-peer critiquing is constantly happening. And so that collaborative element never goes away in a project-based learning classroom. Working with clients, working with subject matter experts. We bring a lot of folks from the community to support our project work. Growth mindset. Knowing that again, it's not about the product, it's about the process. And so knowing that, you know, as long as you're making progress towards those learning objectives, that's our goal. And it's okay to identify failures. Those failures are what help us get better. And then strong time management, because we're asking a lot on the students in terms of self-direction, we spend a lot of time supporting students and building strong time management skills as well. So I'm going to hand it over to Miss Jessica Baker, one of our assistant principals, and she's going to talk about our structured course pathway.
Good evening. It's so nice to meet some of you all virtually. My name is Jessica Baker. I am one of the assistant principals, and I work in a few capacities within the building. I support our Arlington Tech program, and I also supervise the special education department for the building. And so at the end, my information will be shared, my contact information, so that way if you had any specific questions about that process in Arlington Tech or at the Career Center, you're welcome to reach out to me so that we can have those individualized conversations as they are intended to be. So one of the things I wanted to talk a little bit about is the structured course pathway in Arlington Tech, which is unique for our students, and it is designed to set students up to have some shared experiences that they carry through their 4 years in the program. In 9th grade, we call that our foundational year, and they're all going to begin with their engineering class and really work closely as a team within all of their content areas to really build the foundational skills that they need, that Ms. Steinmetz was just talking about, to set them up for being able to work through that collaborative learning model and understand how to do that. So they'll take their engineering class, which is not only focused on engineering skills, but also really on the thinking skills of how to process through a problem, break it down, and be able to kind of work through that. In 10th grade, our students focus on their career exploration. So that's where they're going to open up and be able to experience greater and more opportunities in our career and technical education, or CTE classes, across the building. And that's really where students are bringing in that STEM component, as Ms. Steinmetz said. That's through our CTE classes. They're going to build on those technical skills, and their STEM skills, and not just in the capacity of engineering. We've got a lot of opportunities in the medical field, electricity, food, graphics. We have a lot in the building to offer. So that's really where they get to see those skills kind of continue. And then in 11th grade, that's where students begin to have their opportunities for that early college and dual enrollment courses, which I'll talk a little bit about in a few minutes. All of that is leading up to their 12th grade capstone. And capstone is going to be discussed a bit more in later slides by Mr. Maynor. So I'll let him really cover that. But again, this structured course pathway is intended to have students build their skills to that. And the next slide shows us a little bit more about the specifics of these courses. As you can see, there are areas where there are a lot of choice and flexibility, and there are some where there's a little bit less, which is typical amongst most of our schools in Arlington. You can see, for example, that in 9th grade, all of our students are going to take English 9, biology, world history, their engineering foundations, CTE, and depending on what else they have space for, another optional single elective as well. And again, that engineering class is also intended for those critical thinking skills. And you will see in our math area, we have our greatest number of choices. Our students are coming in, and our goal is to have them be ready for either APTA or Algebra 2 by 10th grade. The other unique component of our structured course pathway are our dual enrollment courses, which you can see a lot of those listed on our 11th grade column, anywhere that has the DE in parentheses next to the course names. Those dual enrollment classes are a great opportunity for students to earn those credits, and I'll talk about that on the next slide. But first, I'll highlight one more thing. Our CTE classes continue to open up as students complete other graduation requirements. For example, as they complete their world languages, they're going to add more and more CTEs. And then a component of their schedule in 12th grade is filled with their capstone internship. If we can move to the next slide. Our DE courses and our early college program allows students to potentially earn an entire associate's degree while they are in college, or while they're in high school. So before they enter college, they're earning all of those college credits. We continue to offer courses that are highly transferable. So we work to make sure that our classes are transferable to universities across the state of Virginia and amongst many other states as well. So students can earn that associate's degree in computer science through us. And then their courses, again, are transferable from Nova to many other colleges and universities. And this is a great opportunity to earn these college credits at no cost. These courses are able to fulfill a lot of the general education requirements for students in their college coursework. So they might be able to complete some of their English or history requirements before they even enroll in college, which is a great opportunity. And then our last slide that I'm going to speak about this evening are some of our incredible CTE courses. And again, this is where that STEM connection comes in. So we kind of group our CTE classes into four kind of areas: the engineering and trades, IT or digital media, health and medical, and human and public service. You can see that there are themes amongst them, and students are able to kind of find their area of interest, and then they can focus in that, or they can take classes from all different areas and kind of build and learn about what they are interested in. In the health and medical section, there are a few courses that actually also provide students with a science credit in addition. The biotechnology, animal science, EMT, and physical therapy sports medicine class. So that's an opportunity there. And you can also see that some of our courses in CTE also are able to convey a dual enrollment credit as well. So I think that's all the information that I am covering at the moment, and I'm going to pass it off to Mr. Maynor to talk a little bit more about Capstone.
Thanks, Jess. Good evening, everybody. I'm Corey Maynor, and good evening to you all. The Capstone experience, as you heard earlier, is the culminating experience for our 12th graders. It's being able to take all of the experiences that they've had 9th through 11th grade, as well as some of the coursework that they're continuing in their 12th grade year, and being able to put it into practical use as they are looking to transition from high school on into the real world. And so through this experience, students have the opportunity to meet monthly and journal about their experiences as they prepare a presentation on their experience in one of these three areas that you see on the screen. So one opportunity that they have is to intern at a job site. And now this is a real work experience where the student will work directly with a mentor or supervisor at a job site, and that they will take on real responsibilities at that place, and the goal is to become integrated as a full functioning employee within that workplace, where they will receive professional evaluations for their work, and then they have the opportunity to reflect on that process and present it at the end of the year. The other opportunity is as a project consultant, and this is where a company may be interested in a student's work. And so maybe it's for a student to cater an event or something of that nature. But a company will hire, or some client will hire a student to be able to provide a good or service, and that organization will work with the student to set up the parameters, the dynamics of what will be delivered, and will evaluate on how well that good or service was provided by the student. The last one is as a principal investigator, and that's an opportunity for a student to jump into the realm of research at a university level, where they would get to partner with a member from a college or university or from an organization, and they'll develop their own research question and their own research proposal, and begin to explore that through the partnership that they've created, and their final product is a thesis in which they present. So it is again, it's the culminating experience for the students to be able to take their experiences from CTE, from the dual enrollment classes that they're taking, the project-based learning experiences that they've had through their high school years, and put it to a meaningful activity that engages their community as they look to transition from high school to life after high school. All right, so the student life, extracurriculars and buses. I'm going to talk a little bit about student life and extracurriculars here. You know, you heard earlier about our campus being a campus of multiple programs, and the CTE classes being the one of the things that link all of our students within the building. One of the other areas that many of our students are linked together as well is through the student life and extracurricular, the student activities that we provide at Arlington Tech and the Career Center. We have over a dozen clubs and activities that we offer for students. Those clubs, and when I say that we have over a dozen, those are offered on campus. Over a dozen clubs and activities that we offer on the ACC campus. They range from affinity groups to groups that are based in industry, civic engagement. There are really a lot of opportunities for students to be able to get involved. In this picture, down in the middle, I believe, is our Model General Assembly Club, which is a club that focuses on legislation on the state level, where students have the opportunity to work with locally elected officials as they draft legislation that has an impact on that can have an impact on their community. But we have also some athletic clubs such as Ultimate Frisbee and Step Team. So there's really a wealth of clubs that we have available. You can find them on our website. But you'll also notice that we have some clubs here that, you know, in the top middle, we see Washington Lee field hockey jerseys, right? And we see Wakefield High School cheerleaders in the bottom right corner. So for the activities that are covered under VHSL, our students are able to participate in those clubs and activities with their neighborhood school. We don't have fields. We don't have major sports teams that are covered by VHSL, so students would participate with those. They can participate in those clubs and activities with their neighborhood schools. And so that takes us to buses. For our program, students in the morning, if they are bus riders, would be able to catch the bus from a hub stop in their neighborhood that would take them that would bring them to the Career Center for classes, as well as buses that will return them at the end of school. If students are participating in a after-school athletic activity that takes place at a neighborhood school, then the buses, there is a bus that will take them, that would shuttle them from our campus to your neighborhood school's campus for them to participate in that activity. I don't want you to think that those schools are that the neighborhood schools are the only ones with uniforms either, because if you look in the left corner, you can see our Ultimate Frisbee team donning our purple for the Career Center there. So, and I see a question that just popped up, and this is a question that came up in our first session as well, for VHSL programs such as band. Those are not available for our students because they are connected directly to classes that students take at the home school. So that is one athletic activity that students are not able to participate in that is covered under VHSL. So thank you for that question. Go ahead and move to the next slide. Now, the application process, as you're probably aware, the application process the window is open now, and it closes January 15th. And so you want to mark your calendar and make sure that you have taken ample time to to think about it, consider weighing everything that we've shared with you today, and get that application in. But there are some things that we need you to consider as you look at applying, and that is that we need you to, one, be able to acknowledge that we have the structured course pathway that was shared with you earlier. The Arlington Tech uses this cohort model where all of our students are following a pathway together from 9th grade through 12th grade, and it is very rigorous, and it is and as you saw as the pathway was mapped out, we don't have much wiggle room to deviate from the pathway that we've provided. So when you apply, you are acknowledging an awareness of that we have a rigorous pathway that your student is expected to follow through from 9th through 12th grade. The other acknowledgement that we are asking you to make, and you heard Ms. Baker speak of this earlier, is regarding the math requirement. Our focus is that our students have to complete AFTA or Algebra 2 by the end of their 10th grade years. And the importance of that is because of moving into the dual enrollment college courses that we offer for junior and senior year. And so we really need students to be able to pass those classes at that point. Also, for students who are coming out of middle school with grade 8 math, having just completed grade 8 math, you will be taking an integrated Algebra 1 geometry course through your freshman year. And that is also in part to help keep you on track so that you can meet the AFTA Algebra 2 or Algebra 2 requirement in the sophomore year, so that we can ensure that you're on our pathway for success. And with that, I am going to pass it on back to Ms. Steinmetz. Thank you.
All right, so we are going to wrap up our presentation. I just wanted to hit the highlights one more time so that you walk away really understanding who we are and what it's like to attend Arlington Tech, because the experience is very different than what you would find at our neighborhood schools. We are a smaller program that lives at the Career Center. We focus all of our learning as project-based learning. So that's the instructional environment. It's going to feel different because of that. The work is complex. It's very meaningful because it's connected to client work. It's connected to community work. We offer rigorous college credits through our partnership with Northern Virginia Community College. Most of our graduates are walking away with many of their general education requirements done, so that as they go on to their universities of choice, they're walking in with several college credits behind them. We offer incredible STEM resources. We wish we could bring you into the building this evening to show you our lab spaces, to show you the work that our students do in those lab spaces. It's incredible what the Career Center has and the resources that it offers to the Arlington community. And so CTE and STEM are inseparable. I want to kind of really highlight that we talked about engineering and I showed you a project on engineering, but thinking back to that slide that Ms. Baker shared about all of our CTE classes and what STEM means. It's not just computer programming. It's not just engineering. Technical skills are built in a variety of different classes. Our culinary class is very technical. Our aviation class, we have early childhood education, we have automotive programs and graphic design programs and multimedia programs. So lots of different technical skills, lots of different STEM in the building. And then finally, that capstone experience. We are the only high school in Arlington that offers this year-long incredible work-based learning experience that's embedded into the school day, where not only the students have opportunities to earn academic credit, but they're also building experience and demonstrating the skills that they've developed over the last 4 years, not just those project management skills, but those technical skills. So that's who we are. That's what makes Arlington Tech awesome. We are going to shift gears from the presentation, and we have a lot of questions. We've had some questions coming in. We have some awesome people here tonight to share their experience of Arlington Tech with you. You've heard from myself and our administrative team, but we have our counselor, one of our counselors, we have 2 of our teachers, we have a few students and some parents here to share their experience. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let them introduce themselves. As they're introducing themselves and as we continue to go through the Q&A, please post as many questions that you can think of into our Q&A chat feature, and we're moderating those questions. And I'm going to go ahead and pull some of those for our panel to discuss. And so I'm going to kick it off. I'm going to send it over to Ms. Caparata to let her introduce herself.
Hello. My name is Kristen Caparata. I'm one of the 2 school counselors that works with Arlington Tech. This is my 3rd year. And one of the things that I have loved about working with this program is really seeing our students as they're nearing graduation. This will be our 2nd graduating class this year. And just seeing the amazing feedback that we're getting from colleges, how impressed they are with our students, with not only their dual enrollment classes, but the unique opportunities that they're getting through project-based learning and their unique CTE courses. So it's been a really exciting time to watch them get ready for their next steps.
Hi, I'm Dr. Antares Leask. I love teaching at Arlington Tech. I've been here since the 1st year. I teach English 9, English 12, and a dual enrolled World and British Literature, which is a college sophomore level class. The thing I love doing best at Arlington Tech is a project called Genius Hour, which was developed by Google. They figured out that their employees were more productive when they got to spend time doing something they cared about. So it's a project that is completely run by the students. They write the proposal, they write the rubric, they tell me what to look for, they make the time schedule, they lay out all the steps. But what I really love is that Arlington Tech is a community. So when they get to that big presentation at the end, they invite community members. We actually handwrite letters, so we practice that skill. People invite friends and family. The superintendent's been there. Sometimes people kind of reach with their invitations. I had a group who was writing OSHA regulations to build a safer Jurassic Park, and they invited Steven Spielberg and didn't get anything from him, but I had a student invite Lin-Manuel Miranda, and he actually wrote him back. He got a handwritten letter from Lin-Manuel Miranda. So I can't promise that if your student comes to Arlington Tech, they're going to get a letter from a Tony, Emmy, Grammy Award winner, but maybe it's possible. It could happen.
Good evening. My name is Byron Schwinn, and I'm the social studies teacher, world history teacher at Arlington Tech, and I teach 9th grade, intensified and standard. And like Dr. Leask, I've been with Arlington Tech since its inception, and I had found that I was at a point in my career where I was looking for a new challenge, and Arlington Tech has provided that challenge. It's my first year at Arlington Tech was like going back to year 1 of teaching, and I had to redesign all of my units, but I find it amazing where the students take my projects. I have a curriculum that I follow, but often the students find really cool stuff along the way of through research that they are able to bring into the unit that isn't necessarily part of what APS requires. So it's really a neat experience to watch them practice and learn these research skills that they will need later on in their college career. And so I've watched Arlington Tech grow, and it's turning into quite an amazing program for all of the kids that are experiencing it. So I look forward to helping answer any questions that you might have tonight.
Hello everyone, I'm Reem and I'm an 11th grader at Arlington Tech. One thing that that drove me to Arlington Tech was their dual enrollment classes, which has significantly impacted how I look into like further just like looking into my career path and college, which has helped me just plan out what I want to do. And also one thing that I've noticed is that Arlington Tech gives you like a sense of community and family. So everyone there is really supportive of you, all your teachers and all of the administrative staff. Yeah.
My name is Thomas Doby, and I've been at Arlington Tech this is my 4th year. I've been studying technology fields, but I'm really interested in robotics. That's after I took a course in robotics with Mr. Johnson, and I've learned that at Arlington Tech, everyone around you and people in your courses actually teach you, because everyone knows different details, different knowledge that you need to know in your field, and they spread that knowledge, and that's why I've really enjoyed learning robotics, and I've pursued my capstone project in that area. Yeah, that's it.
Hi, my name is Jael Fernandez, and Arlington Tech has been really great and fun to be in, because first of all, with the project-based learning that they do in Arlington Tech, it's really unique, and by doing that, I actually got to communicate with others and meet new people that that I actually had no idea if I'm going to be friends with them or not. And also, this helped me gather more friends, and those friends will help me out on what I need help with, like my classes, for example, when I'm struggling, when if by any reason the teacher, I'm not understanding the teacher, or maybe what my teacher explained is hard, I can rely on my friends, because they have different strategies on what to do and how they do it. So that's really helpful. And for the courses, one of the courses I really like about Arlington Tech is Auto Tech. First and most, because you do hands-on learning. You actually do the stuff, not just theoretical, but you put the hands-on and like actually fix cars, and that's really amazing of it. Um, that's like a great opportunity to have experience on. When you have that experience, you can go outside the world and work on any 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 work related to the course you did, and it's really helpful. It's really nice.
Good evening. I'm Angela Jones, the mother of a very active Arlington Tech student. She's a senior this year, and she has participated in lots of activities because Arlington Tech offers so many activities and learning experiences for the students. Just to name a few: cheerleading at Wakefield, the Arlington Tech Cultural Leadership Team, Sister Circle, Air Force Junior ROTC. She participates with mentoring new students, and at Arlington Tech, students really become active participants in their education, and it affords them
it teaches them accountability, responsibility, and it challenges them with their education. It allows them to apply their knowledge to real life situations and circumstances. So I think it's been a wonderful program for us.
Hi, my name is Grace Putnam, and I'm also a parent of a 12th grader. And my son, John, has had a wonderful experience at Arlington Tech. And he's also been involved in many different activities, some at Arlington Tech and some at his home school. He did the Model General Assembly, which was a wonderful program, and took trips to the state capitol and had a wonderful experience seeing how the state legislature works, and it was really a rewarding and wonderful experience. And he also is involved in crew, the varsity crew team at Yorktown High School. So he's able to do that as well. And he just really had a wonderful experience with Arlington Tech. He learned so many skills that he wouldn't otherwise have learned had he gone to another school. With the project-based learning, you're really learning skills that you would use in the workplace. It's hands-on experience. You're learning how to deal with other people and how to navigate, how to navigate time. And they switch roles in terms of one day someone is going to be doing the leadership role. Another person will be doing kind of making sure everybody's on track and that sort of thing. And you find out sometimes people don't do the work that they're supposed to, and then you learn how to make sure that they do the work. And sometimes you're juggling how to motivate people and how to make sure that everybody's contributing equally. And it's a really great life experience. And my son now he's a whiz at PowerPoints and giving presentations. There's just absolutely no fear. It's just kind of second nature now. And and he's had just wonderful exposure to classes that he wouldn't otherwise have exposure to with the he did both of the animal science courses, which was a phenomenal experience, and several other CTE courses, which were wonderful. So it's a really great experience for your child.
You're muted.
How am I again?
No.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. No, I can't hear you anymore. There you go. No. I wonder if your hand is covering your mic on your computer. You are actually muted though.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I apologize. My button is not actually toggling. It's not showing me whether or not I'm muted. So I apologize for that. We're going to go through some of our questions. You've met our panelists. I'm going to direct some of these questions to our panelists. By all means, please keep the questions coming in. But the first question that I see that I'd ask maybe one or two of our students to respond to, and then also one of our teachers would be great to hear their perspective. But the question is there a strong engineering focus throughout the curriculum? And we hear this question a lot. Is Arlington Tech just for students who think of themselves as techies or want to go into engineering or computer science? Would it be a good place for a child whose interests and strengths lie more in English and history and less in math and science? And so would one of our students?
I can answer that. So, well, yes, engineering is a large focus in Arlington Tech. how, for instance, in physics class, I worked with the engineering class in order to make to 3D print my final product, which anyway, it's a project, and I 3D printed the final final product. Then in math class, of course, we work with engineering because to make certain things. In English class, however, we obviously don't. One sec, can you actually repeat the question? I kind of forgot it. That's my bad.
So is this a program just for students that are interested in engineering and computer science? So
No,
think
it's
about your friends and the kids in your class. Is everyone engineering, or are there folks that are interested in arts and music and history? What's
there's
your
all sorry, my bad. There's all kinds of different people with different interests. There's many different CTEs which people can access. For instance, I know one of my friends, Matthew, he's interested in video photography. There's also many courses. I think Talia takes EMT, and that doesn't require engineering. There's all kinds of different CTEs and main course classes that don't require engineering that you can access. So it is not engineering solely. However, engineering is also very accessible and very useful in the Arlington Tech program.
I would just like to add something to what Thomas said. So one thing that I'd like to add is that Arlington Tech is mainly surrounded around tech and engineering, but it also can teach you a lot of other skills, like Ms. Steinmetz said, like communication and project-based work and time management, which are skills that I think everyone should have, especially going outside of high school and going into college and then eventually going to the workforce. So those skills can just go throughout your life, and they can be established now, and you can have them for the rest of your life. So yeah.
I can jump in also. And first, I want to thank Thomas for taking time away from his English research paper to be here with us tonight. So I've had a lot of students, as an English teacher, I've had a lot of students who have found ways to mesh their love of the humanities with the more technical and engineering type classes. I have a student who built a guitar. I think I've had 2 students build a guitar. I have a student who writes his own songs. So when he has an assignment, instead of writing a boring old essay, he'll write a song about it. I have someone who just did an illustrated manuscript of some of her poetry. I have someone who used the skills they learned in geometry and the skills they learned with like the 3D printer, and they made a topographical map of Middle Earth. So like the mountains are all raised and there are rivers, and so a lot of students who love the humanities still find ways to bring that into what they're doing in their STEM and technology classes.
So to add to that question, there's a question about, does Arlington Tech help you with like identifying your interest in exploring careers? And maybe students are coming in and maybe they think that they want to explore engineering, or they have a career in mind. Maybe kids are coming in without a career. Again, I'd love to hear from a student, maybe also from one of our parents who've seen, since both of your children are in our 12th grade, so they've seen your student mature and what that experience was like, and if Arlington Tech and the Career Center supported your growth in that area.
I guess I can go. Yeah. So I entered Arlington Tech thinking that I would want to pursue IT. As I learn more about IT, yeah, it's interesting. However, I just didn't find that I was amazing at it. So I adjusted my interest. I took a course of robotics, as I said, and that was in 10th grade. And from there, I've developed a serious interest in robotics. I really enjoy engineering. And so I went from working on computers to working with Inventor, AutoCAD, programs like that. I've changed. I took ROTC as well. I was experimenting with all different kinds of CTEs. However, it all came back to engineering for me, specifically with robotics and aerospace, which is why I'm taking my capstone. And yeah, it has really changed my interest. That's why for my colleges, when they tell you to specify a major that you want, I specified the ones that I was interested in. And I learned that interest because I took the CTE courses here at Arlington Tech.
I can also add on to that. Okay, there we go. So one thing is, when I came to Arlington Tech, my main focus, or just the career path that I wanted to go into, was engineering. And luckily I found out that's not what I want to do. But eventually, after taking in 10th grade, I took a medical terminology class with the teachers that we have at Arlington Tech, and I personally fell in love with the medical field. And throughout 10th grade, I've had different opinions about what I wanted to do in the medical field, between gynecology or just say cardiovascular surgeon, just a bunch of things. Right now, what my main focus is to become a dentist, which is, I think, one of the things that I would love to do. And I think taking classes throughout Arlington Tech has helped me have an idea of what I want to do, and a stable idea of it. So that's one thing that's really helped. And also, I know a lot of friends who've come into Arlington Tech knowing what they want to do, in Arlington Tech classes, like the CTE classes, have solidified that. So by taking, there's a friend who wants to go into TV, into the TV industry and just that. So we have 3 TV level production classes that are helping them pursue that career path. And I think 2 of them are DE, so they're still getting college credit for the classes that they are doing. So, yeah.
I would like to add another answer to that question. So for me, what the career I was going for first and most was engineering, electromechanical, and that went changing when I realized that I was more into computers or more coding. But I also like hands-on learning. So I decided to switch the career path I was going to the same field of engineering, but this time is in systems of engineering, and that happened because through going through my classes and the skills that I have, I come to realize that I am good at time managing or communicating and paying attention to people, but the field I was going for was not actually really on my skills that I wanted to. So, and also because of the profit of the career too, that may change my mind. That's actually also a big big reason why I changed. And yeah, and the course of engineering, that when I took it, I learned that it's mostly just technology. So electromechanical won't make. I thought of that it won't make a good fit for me, so I switched to systems instead. That's all.
Thank you, Hayo. So we have so many different classes. It's really quite, it's fun to watch the students explore. If you come to the Career Center as an Arlington Tech student, if you look back at that course pathway that we shared, there's a lot of space embedded in the course pathway for students to explore programs, and that is an advantage of being an Arlington Tech student, because our CTE classes are open to students across the county. But an Arlington Tech student starts taking those classes in the 9th grade, and they start doubling up on those classes so they can complete multiple pathways, and they can get really creative in exploring our CTE pathways. And what I like to hear is that the student, some students that come in so certain that they're gonna take our forensics classes and they want to work for the FBI, and then within one semester they are looking for another option because it didn't fit for them. They had that experience, and they had that experience with us in high school before many students start to do that in college, and then they kind of spend some time and have to add extra credits to their college degree because they were exploring themselves at the university level. So our students have this incredible opportunity to do that here at the Career Center and get some real experience. I'm going to actually ask Ms. Caparata, our counselor, to respond to some of the questions we've had that relate to colleges and counseling. We actually do have a college and career counselor at Arlington Tech, and he is in this presentation tonight, but he is not a presenter, so he can't speak up on. So I'm going to ask Ms. Caparata to address where our recent graduates went on to college, and then what credits are required, and how the academic planning process happens at Arlington Tech.
Absolutely. Thanks, Catherine. So yes, our counseling team that works with Arlington Tech, we have 2 school counselors, myself and Ms. Gagan, as well as working with Mr. Draco, our college and career counselor. He's full-time with our building. He supports all the programs at the Career Center. And we work as a team along with a couple other staff to ensure that that process goes smoothly for our students as they're going through their classes, as they're meeting APS graduation requirements, but then that they're also, if they are taking dual enrollment classes, how that will move with them and how they will look at transferring those credits. Our courses were designed in Arlington Tech with the goal of being transferable to four-year colleges, particularly those in Virginia. Every college and university does have a bit of their own process or their own policies about what they will accept and how they will accept that and use it towards a student's degree. So that piece, it is a bit individualized and something that we work with our students on. However, they are generally well accepted across the state of Virginia and also out of state. But out of state, usually we can have conversations with those admissions office. We also have a NOVA counselor and career coach, Ms. Magro. She works with our school, so she provides support for our students in dual enrollment, for our students who maybe want to attend NOVA after high school, but then also helps us a lot with understanding that transfer process. So we have a great team of support to help students throughout that process from 9th grade to their planning for beyond high school. We do academic planning with our students each year, reviewing, again, those requirements, but then also how their choices of electives and CTEs are going to fit in with their pathway, ultimately thinking about how that will build into their 12th grade capstone experience, because you do want it to be related to and built off of something that they took along the way.
So we also had a question about our student body and if it's reflective of the diversity that is Arlington. And I actually would ask Miss Monica if she's able to talk a little bit about some of the programs that we offer at the Career Center and how we support equity at the Career Center. And then also Miss Monica is part of this presentation tonight because part of our focus is that our admissions is through lottery, a blind lottery. So what's important to us is that we recruit and make sure that as many students that are interested in our program have an opportunity and the resources to apply to our program. And so that we ensure that our applicant pool is very, very diverse, meaning that our selection process would reflect that same diversity that we value in Arlington. Monica, did you want to add anything to that question?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. I think it's important for every student and every family to feel valuable in our community. And we make sure that we place programs that help the students transition, feeling that they are in an equitable environment, but they feel safe and celebrated. I think regardless of your skin color, your language, the neighborhood you come from, your status, we know that all of these things plays when you are in a community, in the school, and that the people look at you in a different way. But the idea is that you are confident of who you are, that you celebrate who you are, and you bring it to Arlington Tech, and you, when you come here, you feel that you can thrive and that you can succeed. I think we all want to be successful, and we want all the students in Arlington to be successful, regardless of the school that they go to. But especially here, we want you to feel that these STEM fields and these careers and there are city classes that are for you, that you deserve to have this opportunity, and you come here with the belief that you can experience the project-based learning and your success in these 4 years that you will be here. And going through this, you will discover who you are, what you like to do, how you want to be. And that is an opportunity for you to be here with our family. And when we create this environment within the school, we make sure that we bring, as Ms. Catherine said, opportunities for you. Then we have affinity groups, we have the clubs, we have the opportunities for you to become a leader, to raise your voice, to tell me who you are and what you want to do. Then make sure that you come here when you apply, that you feel that you are connected. And if we don't have any, if you find that you cannot find everything you want, that we created with you. This is a school that we're still creating and recreating ourselves year after year, improving because you want to be, create something different. Then make sure when you apply to Arlington Tech, you understand that you have the opportunity not only to be yourself, but to create something here in our school. My office and everyone in the school, in our community in Arlington Career Center, want to make sure you know that within the school, you can find, as the student says, opportunities through the classes and through the clubs and through the experiences and CTE classes also to discover who you are and the career that you want to take. And we help you to get there. You may know or may don't know, but the idea is that you discover that in the process and in your journey in our building and in our community, help you to get where you want to be. I don't know if, and I saw a question about demographics and about students for different, fortunately, we are open to every neighborhood and person in Arlington. Then everyone can apply to our community more and more and more. We have students from, one of the questions is in the chat, the questions were about where the student come from, and that all our students and our neighborhood schools offer the opportunity for the students to be here. Then everyone is welcome, and we want more and more students who are in different neighborhoods to come. And a specific question that it was in the panel of questions about the our minority students, we want them to be more and more students here. We are welcome students of all color, and we are welcome students of all learning styles, and we welcome students who speak different languages and that come from different countries. The idea is to celebrate everyone and create a different community here, a community of success.
Thank you, Ms. Monica. I just wanted to add that it is a double-blind lottery, so every applicant goes into the bag and numbers are drawn. I mean, not physically, this happens through a computer system. The lotteries are managed by our school options office through APS, so we don't have a participation in that. It's blind on our end and it's blind on your end, and then a vendor will run the lottery and produce the results for us. What's important, because we represent the entire county, is that we represent the entire county. That's what's important, that, like Ms. Monica said, that we draw students from every neighborhood. We draw students from every middle school and from every planning block. We want to make sure we represent Arlington well. Real quick, I wanted to hand it back over. We're just about out of time, so I'm just going to try 1 or 2 more minutes to answer the last couple questions, and then we're going to dismiss for the night. But back to Ms. Caparata to talk about our recent graduating class and where they went off to college.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry I didn't mention this before. We had a really great success rate with last year's graduating class. They were accepted to many of the great universities of Virginia, as well as out of state, just to list a few. We had several students that were accepted and ultimately went to Virginia Tech. Other acceptances, William and Mary, VCU, Christopher Newport, James Madison, George Mason, and then also colleges across the country, everything from Florida Institute of Technology, Clemson, Drexel, Penn State, Arizona State, the Coast Guard Academy, and the Merchant Marine Academy. So a really great variety of schools. For this year's senior class, we're starting to get the first group of our acceptances in, and we expect many more. So we're really excited about how colleges are receiving our students.
We do typically draw, I'm going to answer questions about our application process. We do typically draw more applications than we do have spots, which is why we do go to the lottery process. And so the lottery would select the 150 students to give the first round of offers. Students would then have time, families would have time to decide whether or not to commit to Arlington Tech. Once they commit to Arlington Tech, they would be pulled from the wait list from any of the other APS option schools. And that's the same thing. If you commit to another option school, you would be pulled from our wait list. And so because of that, because you can't sit on multiple offers, which is new now about, this is going to be the second year that this is the case in APS. Because of that, the wait list, actually, there's a lot of movement on the wait list because of those new policies. And so I would want to encourage any family that does get wait listed, even if it feels like your number is really, really low on the wait list, just to stay on the wait list and stay in contact with us through the process, because like I said, there's a lot of students that apply to multiple programs, and very quickly the wait list will move. And so you know, we absolutely see a lot of folks get into the program from the wait list. So, you know, I'll answer one. There's 1 or 2 more questions in the chat that I think we can answer. I wanted to say thank you so much to our panelists this evening. We recorded this presentation and it will be posted to our website. We actually ran the same presentation a few weeks ago. Of course, there were different questions because it was a different live panel. And so by all means, you could watch that recording and fast forward to the Q&A if you wanted to hear perspectives from some of our other community members. We're so grateful for our community, for our students, and for our parents especially, who have really helped support the growth of this program in so many ways. This is our 5th year, and it's incredible to see how much we've grown and how much community support we've had since we started to build this. So thank you so much for coming this evening. The Q&A will be open for just about 1 more minute, so I'm going to give you a chance to put anything else in there. If you wanted to follow up on kind of one-on-one questions or with more information, anything about the program, you can come to me, Catherine Steinmetz. I'm the coordinator of the program. Ms. Chung, you met at the beginning of the presentation. She's our principal. She's the principal of the Arlington Career Center, so she oversees all the programs and the CTE and the building, and so kind of anything about the Arlington Career Center at large, that would be good questions directed to Ms. Chung. And then Ms. Baker, you met, she's an assistant principal. She supports Arlington Tech. She also oversees special education services at the Career Center. And so I would encourage you to reach out to Ms. Baker if you had questions and wanted to know a little bit more about our special education services. There's a lot of information on our website, including a link to the application. And then if you wanted me to help connect you to any resources, by all means, please reach out. And I think that's it for this evening. So thank you again for coming. Thank you for your interest in our program, and we hope to see you submit an application.